What's up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I want to talk about the EIDL Targeted Cash Advance. Now, this is something that has recently begun again, and as we are speaking here today in February of 2021, the SBA has started sending out invitations in order to apply for the Targeted Cash Advance. But the fact is, there has been some questions about how to go about providing the necessary information for this application. So that's what I want to break down in this video. So if you're somebody who is wanting to apply for the EIDL Targeted Advance, you're hoping you get this invitation from the SBA, but you're not exactly sure how to go about filling the application, this video is for you. So let's get started. Now, before we begin, I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Cover. Now, Cover is a financial safety net for gig workers. If you're somebody who's been interested in joining the gig economy and becoming self-employed in the world of gig work, then one thing that may have deterred you from joining full-time is the fact that gig work is really financially unstable. Now, what I mean by this, if you're somebody who works in the gig economy full-time, if you get sick, if your car gets in an accident, if you lose the power to your house, if you aren't able to work for whatever reason, then your income stream is cut at the source, and that is really stressful. Now, what Cover can do is Cover can provide you with some financial stability, and Cover can have your back in the case that you're not able to work efficiently. With Cover, you can have access to paid time off, sick leave, as well as paid cash advances when you need them. You also have access to a legal team, bookkeeping and accounting services, as well as a medical telehealth professional in the case that you get sick. The best part is that Cover has offered the viewers of this channel 1 month free of their service with no obligations, long-term commitments, or contracts, so that you can give it a try and see if it's something that works for you. If you're interested in checking out Cover, then follow the link down in my description below or in the comment section of this video, and you can get that 1 month free trial. Thank you, Cover, for sponsoring this video. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the EIDL Targeted Cash Advance. So the EIDL program is a program that was heavily used last year with the CARES Act. And what this program provided was 2 key services. The first one was a low interest loan called the EIDL loan. This was a loan that was low interest and you could pay it back over the course of 30 years. The second program, and the highly publicized program that I know a lot of you guys are interested in, was the EIDL Grant Program. And at the time that the CARES Act was implemented, this was supposed to be a $10,000 grant program that was available to any entrepreneur, gig worker, self-employed individual, or business owner. But that's not really what ended up happening, and shortly after the program was implemented, the SBA changed the rules from $10,000 flat cash advance to $1,000 per employee up to $10,000. This is something that people were not happy with, though I won't go into the exact details in this video because it would take way too long. If you're interested in learning about the details of this entire mess, then definitely check out some of my other videos because I have covered it in depth. But long story short, this caused a lot of issues, and back in December of 2020, lawmakers passed a $600 billion stimulus package. In the $600 billion stimulus package, there was more funding going to the EIDL Grant Program. And as a result, the SBA is now starting to give out $10,000 to eligible businesses in the form of a targeted cash advance. But the big difference here compared to 2020 was that with the 2020 cash advance, anybody could apply. Whereas now in 2021, with the targeted cash advance, it is invitation only. Basically, how it's working is the SBA is going through the past applicants of the EIDL program. They are pulling the applicants that could be eligible for this targeted cash advance. They are then sending them an email asking them to apply if they would like to potentially receive the full $10,000 cash advance. Now, the first thing I would like to note about this invitation process with targeted EIDL cash advance is the invitation that you will receive. And it's incredibly important to note and to double check where that email came from. The reason this is important is that the EIDL program, and really kind of all SBA programs at this point, are full of fraud. There are scammers out there that are aware that business owners are desperate for money, that workers and independent contractors are desperate for funds, and they are really kind of being predatory about that. And as a result, people are getting scammed and losing money from people who they think are the SBA. So whenever you get that targeted EIDL cash advance application, you will want to make sure that it has the @sba.gov email. Once you confirm that, you should be prepared to give either your social security number or your EIN number. If you are an LLC applying under a business, you will want that to be an EIN. If you're an independent contractor, a gig worker, a freelancer, something like that, you can use your social security number. The next process that you'll want to make sure that you have in line and you have prepared before you start the application is your banking information. It is incredibly important that your bank account matches the name that's on the application. Now, what I mean by this is that if you are somebody who is applying under an LLC, for example, that LLC has to match the banking information where the SBA will send those funds to. So if you have your LLC, you apply under your LLC, but you have the banking information under your own personal checking account, that will not work, and that will cause a lot of issues with the SBA. Alternatively, if you're somebody who's like a gig worker, an independent contractor, a freelancer, and you're applying under your own name, not under a company name, and let's say, for example, like I was to apply, but then I was to have the banking information be sent to my fiance's bank info, that would not work either. The banking information and the name on the bank account has to match the applicant. This is incredibly important, and if you do not do this, then it will cause delays in your application. Once you've gotten these key pieces of information all squared away, you will then be ready to start the application. Once you give the SBA your EIN, your social security number, you will then be asked to answer about 20 questions. These are just eligibility questions. You'll just want to go through, answer yes and no to these questions, and depending on your answers to those questions will dictate whether or not you are eligible for the targeted cash advance. So we're not going to go over these questions in detail in this video because the answers to them will vary greatly depending on you, your business, and what you do, but you will want to go through, answer those questions, make sure that you answer them truthfully, and once you are done with that, you will then move on to the fourth and final page. The next section is where you need to provide your gross receipts for the last 26 months. And this is something that I think has caused a bit of confusion because it's definitely the section of the application that I've been getting the most questions about personally. Now, what this means is that the SBA wants for you to tally up all of the money that your business, your gig work, your side hustle brought in for these months, and you then have to record that in these individual sections. So you will need to go through and you can either pull up information from a P&L. If you use QuickBooks, you could pull it up through QuickBooks or through an accountant or a bookkeeping service. If you have the documentation in the app of the gig work that you do. So for example, I know that like with Upwork, they provide you with statements at the end of each month showing how much you made. I know Turo does the same type of thing. I know Uber offers like an earnings graph. You could pull the information from there if you would like. Or one of the best and one of the easiest methods is to go through old bank statements. So what you'll want to do is you will want to go through and you'll want to download your bank statements from January of 2019 until February of 2021, so the last 26 months. You will then want to go through, and I would encourage you to tally up every single dollar that has come in through that side hustle. You will then record the information into the spreadsheet month by month. Now, one thing that is not required, but I would encourage you to do this because you're doing it anyways, is that whenever you are going through and tallying these bank statements, I would encourage you to actually print out the physical paper, highlight the amount of money that you're making each and every month from these side hustles, and then save that as documentation in the case that the SBA pushes back on your targeted EIDL cash advance. The fact is that just because you're invited into the cash advance program and just because you're technically eligible for it does not mean that the SBA will have to accept you. And there is a chance that even if you provide accurate data, even if that data aligns with the EIDL program, you may get denied for whatever reason. And it would be helpful to have that information handy, ready to hand over to the SBA in the case that they want to review your numbers in greater detail. And by having that information prepared, by having the income highlighted line by line, that will make it very easy for the SBA to approve you. So again, you'll want to go to your bank's website, download your bank statements for the last 26 months, calculate how much money has come in from your side hustle, your side gig, your independent contracting gig, your business, whatever the case is, and then that's the number you will put into the spreadsheet month by month. You'll have to do that for every month over the last 26 months. Once you do that, the SBA will then ask you to certify that the information is true. You will then click submit, and then that's pretty much it. Now, all in all, the application is pretty straight and to the point. It's an easy application, especially if you're somebody that has your finances organized. This type of thing is exactly why I'm such an advocate for keeping a P&L. It doesn't have to be like a proper P&L that an accounting major would have, but just some sort of spreadsheet that tells you how much money you made month by month. This is when that type of thing really comes in handy. Now again, this method that I've showed you in this video, the bank statement method, is not the only way to provide your gross receipts to the SBA. You can do it through a P&L, you can do it through QuickBooks, you can do it through your accountant, you can do it through this bank statement method. It doesn't really matter the method that you use in order to provide your gross receipts, it's just important that they're accurate and that you're able to provide it. Another thing that I would like to note is on the issue of taxes. I've been getting the question a lot of, hey, am I able to provide my 2020 gross receipts even though I haven't filed my taxes yet? And the answer to that question is yes. The fact is the tax deadline hasn't come yet, and the SBA and the government and lawmakers know that there are a lot of people out there who want to receive EIDL funds or PPP funds or stimulus checks, but they have not filed their taxes yet. And as a result, you will not be penalized if you're somebody who has not filed your 2020 taxes. With that being said, though, I do encourage you guys to get your 2020 taxes in as quickly as possible because it will be beneficial to have your taxes filed for not only the EIDL program, not only the stimulus checks, but also future programs as well. With that being said, you guys, I hope that you found this video helpful. I wanted to make this video because I've been getting this question more and more. I've been asked a lot about clarifying what gross receipts are and how to go about providing the gross receipts. So again, you can pull this information from your bank statements very easily, and all a gross receipt is the total amount of money that your business, your side hustle, your side gig made in a given month without taking expenses into account. So it is before expenses are calculated, and it is the total amount of money that your business brought in. But like always, you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have anything to add, make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.